is being awarded of being the greenest man on the planet. Wow.
Can you imagine that title?
Yes.
And the fact that you have to live up to it. That's the most difficult thing.
Exactly.
Trying to make sure you live up to it. All right, let's welcome in the studios Mr. Matthias Gelber, the green man, or rather the country manager of LOHAS.
Yes. So LOHAS is the lifestyles of health and sustainability. Is that correct?
Yes. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
You?
All right.
We are fine. Well, tell us about how is it like to be living green or have green living and at the same time sustainability.
For me, it's something that I adopted when I was a young kid in Germany, playing in my kampong and enjoying the forest and actually being connected with Mother Nature. So it's not necessarily so much of a big effort for me. Most people think when you live green, it's going to be very inconvenient.
Yeah.
I don't have a car, I have a very low electricity bill, which is about 30 ringgit, and I practice things that are not that complicated from my point of view, because I've always lived it like that. I use public transport wherever possible. Sometimes I get a ride from friends. I have a hybrid motorbike, a Malaysian product that runs on electricity and fuel, petrol at the same time. So there are many ways of moving around actually. And quite often I end up in a car with 2 or 3 other people because they know I don't have a car myself. So car sharing actually can work in Malaysia too.
Fantastic. Now, Matthias, you also started something called Eco Warriors. A little bit about Eco Warriors and possibly how can people, contribute to Eco Warriors, because you have it on Facebook as well.
Yes.
So all your Facebookers out there, listen up. A little bit on Eco Warriors.
Yeah, it's got an interesting history in the sense of that I started it more than 3 years ago. Actually, it was October 2009. I came back from a camp in the forest where we actually learned about who are we, what do we stand for, what principles in life. At the same time, one of my closest friends passed away, 4 years younger than myself. I just came home, I realized, our life can be finished any moment. And I felt to myself, it's time to do something. Because sometimes we talk, especially environment, if it doesn't hit us personally today, because there's a flood somewhere else, or climate change, future generations, we usually only act when it hits us directly. But climate change is something that is out there in the future, that is often a bit removed from us because we don't feel it directly. But I felt I need to move now. So I started it with the idea of mobilizing people to do action. The 2 main things that we have done is tree planting. We've done tree planting in the Raja Musa peat swamp forest with a lot of other environmental organizations like GEC, Global Environmental Center. Sai Baba organization has been very actively involved in planting close to 100,000 trees there. Now we've done a lot of tree planting in Shah Alam. The other thing we did is we introduced a condo recycling system in the old condo where I used to live in Raja Chulan, and it was focused on giving the cleaners more makan money. And we kind of initially looked at the system and thought, hey, to get the waste disposal companies in is difficult, but the cleaners are selling recyclables already, so they have an incentive. If we make it easier for them to collect more, then the environment gains and they gain. So we set up a very simple system and we tripled the recycling rate. We have the data because they sell it to the recycling companies. So this system I want to implement in my new condo. I've just moved last month. And 3 days ago I talked with the lady in the management office and she said, oh, we are doing it already. So I said, so how much is the monthly recycling? Oh, not so sure, I think it's quite small. And I said, yeah, my friend has lived here for 7 years, he doesn't actually know that there's any recycling going on. So often you face initially resistance because people think no need or we're doing it already.
They become defensive.
Yes.
Okay, so tell us about this upcoming Singapore LOHAS Forum.
LOHAS stands all about lifestyle of health and sustainability. And the idea behind it is if we the consumers use our purchasing power to buy healthy and green, then we can change the marketplace. If everybody buys green products, if everybody buys locally made healthy products, even simple things as flowers. My friend Brenda runs a flower shop in KL and she's trying to use more and more local flowers to actually support the local economy and to avoid having to fly flowers in from Africa or from Holland, which has an additional environmental impact. So the idea behind LOHAS is local, healthy, consumer power changes the marketplace. The LOHAS Forum, end of this month, 28th of February till 1st of March, is going to bring all these people together that want to either commercially be involved with products and food and other things that are fit under this LOHAS banner. Even restaurants that serve organic and local food would be LOHAS type restaurants. LOHAS is like a generic brand name, like an open source concept. It describes a consumer movement that started in North America, swept to Taiwan, swept to Japan. Now we're starting to promote it here in the region because we want to contribute with changing society by changing consumer behavior. Because we, the consumers, have a big influence on what businesses actually manufacture and produce. If we want healthy local food, then we're supporting the local economy and we'll shift food production away from manufactured and sometimes not so healthy, maybe pesticide loaded stuff. So that's the idea behind LOHAS, and the forum will bring all these people together, speakers from all over the world, with the idea of how can we help as well those green brands that might be currently still struggling because green is perceived as more expensive, and people often don't know where these green products are, where you can actually buy them. That's what I find all the time. I tell people, hey, I'm using this, or I've got, you know, this is my bag, you know, my recycled bag, made from 100% recycled plastic bottles. This is my shopping bag. You know, I always avoid plastic bags when I do my shopping. And people don't know that these things exist. They don't know that tools exist. So I want to talk more about what is out there. What can you buy that helps you live a greener life, that helps you save money?
All right. Well, speaking of tools, we've got some on the table right now. Maybe you can just highlight a little bit on the table. I love the T-shirt. It's not green, but it's purple. It's absolutely beautiful. My favorite color.
But it says that this is green.
Yeah, I know this is green. So, you know, take it away, Matthias. Just give us an insight into what's that.
Actually, this T-shirt as well.
There we go.
It looks very nice.
Oh.
Here it says this is
Feels
green.
nice too.
Yeah, it feels actually a lot of football clubs are now wearing. And this is 100% recycled plastic bottles.
Wow.
So it used to be plastic bottles that have been turned into a T-shirt. I've been wearing it at a party the other day, and I got the comment, it's too tight for you. It's actually side packs, so I haven't been wearing it ever since. But I'm going to the gym at the moment, so I'm working on that one.
It's part of sexy.
So this surprises people because, you know, they're kind of thinking, this is green, you know, that's funny.
But it's purple.
It's green inside, and that is at the end of the day what counts.
Okay.
It's also weird when you say it's green inside. Different intonation, of course. Okay, any other products?
This one is my reusable water bottle, and one of the major waste materials that we are generating is plastic bottles.
That's right.
How many of them get recycled? It's possible to recycle them, but transporting them, collecting them, and then even if you recycle, you need to invest energy again to produce the new product. So this is, I love this thing because you can fold it, put it in your bag. It's extremely portable because in the past I always had the problem I forgot my bottle because it's very bulky. Sometimes you don't have the space. This one fits into your little pocket, and there we go.
Make sure you finish drinking it first.
Yes.
Otherwise you're going to be wet.
And another thing, these two products which is really, which I have been using for, I don't know, for as long as I can remember. It's timer, right?
Yes, yes, beautiful. Basically, you know, when you're loading up your phone overnight, you know, to have your full battery in the morning.
That's right.
You don't need to load it up for 6 to 8 hours, depending on how long you sleep.
That's right.
You can just put the timer 1.5 to 2 hours, and the battery is full.
That's right.
It saves you electricity. It helps with your contribution to saving the planet, and it saves you money. And the good news is it's going to save you even more money in the future because electricity prices are going to go up in Malaysia sooner or later because heavily subsidized at this point in time. And Malaysians actually waste 37%, I saw that statistic the other day, they waste 37% more electricity than the neighboring countries because of the much lower electricity rates in Malaysia. In Thailand, Philippines, people are much more careful because it's costing them more.
Right. Now, a lot of Malaysians would be asking you, I'm sure, how do I reduce my usage of air conditioning? It's so hot here in Malaysia, I have to keep the air conditioning on all the time. So, what would be your advice?
I mean, first of all, if you buy a new house or you're building your own house, which is very few of our listeners, but still that is when you can have the biggest influence, then you should actually buy or build a house that has been insulated, that has been designed to actually reduce the temperature inside. I stayed the other day in a place in Sayang, Sungai Petani, Sky Residences. This building was designed to minimize any heat going into the building, and there was an air funnel in the middle, and actually when you open up the balcony and the door to the air funnel, it was like you were having a natural fan. And another building I visited in Butterworth used lightweight insulated concrete blocks. It was built 5 years ago. It's a high-rise, 16-story. People live in there, average family. I asked them, Chinese family with 2 kids. They said, oh, how much is your electricity bill? Only 70 ringgit. And I said, oh, how come it's so low? Yeah, we have 2 big fridges, but we hardly need any aircon because it's so cool in the building.
We should move to Butterworth.
So that is new building. We should do that. Passive cooling, passive design, that can help a lot. Then, if you have an existing house, if it's your house, look at whether you can insulate the roof. Because that makes a big difference. That's where a lot of the heat comes from. And the walls, because the walls store the heat during the day, they release it in the night. That's why it's hot inside, even though it's cold outside.
What about apartments and flats?
I live in a normal apartment. I try and get as much air circulation as possible. So I usually have my door open. I have one of these metal frames there, so security is still there. I have my windows open, so I get air circulation, especially when it's a bit stormy, then you can actually feel it. And what I do is I have a mini fan, 2 mini fans, so I use the fan instead of the aircon. But even I try to not keep it on all night. It depends really. At the moment it's quite cloudy, it's not very hot, so I haven't felt hot.
Thank God for that.
So
the weather's been really good.
Try and work with what you can cope with. Yes, I mean, even if you need aircon to cool it down, if it's very hot, I might have my aircon on for 10 minutes before I go to sleep to cool the room down and then switch it off. So, you know, try and figure out what is your level of comfort, what are you okay with, and how can you minimize the usage of aircon, because that is the biggest contributor to electricity consumption. But